All right, let's talk about something that could completely challenge how you see the universe, your mind, and even yourself. This isn't your everyday science talk. It's a mind-bending concept that could explain how we're all connected in ways you've never imagined. Today, we're unpacking the idea of non-local consciousness and the collective mind. And by the end of this, you might just question everything you thought you knew about reality. So let's start with the big question. What if your mind isn't just inside your head? What if your thoughts, feelings, and intentions actually extend beyond your brain and body, capable of influencing the world around you? Sounds wild, right? But don't worry, this isn't some abstract philosophical fluff. There's actual science behind this. Let's break it down. Dr. Roger Nelson, a psychologist and the director of the Global Consciousness Project, has spent years investigating the idea that consciousness isn't confined to individuals. Instead, it might exist on a much larger scale, a collective consciousness that we all participate in. He and his team conducted experiments to test whether our thoughts, intentions, and even emotions might affect the physical world. And here's the kicker, they found some pretty compelling evidence that it does. One of their main tools was something called a random event generator, or REG. Think of it as an electronic coin flipper. It spits out completely random sequences of ones and zeros, like heads or tails. Normally, these sequences are totally unpredictable. But here's the crazy part. When people focus their minds on influencing the machine, like trying to make it produce more ones than zeros, the data shows subtle but measurable shifts. It's like their thoughts are somehow reaching out and nudging the machine. Sounds impossible, right? But the results were replicated over and over again, and the statistical evidence became impossible to ignore.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more topics you love.
Now, I know what you're thinking, okay, but how does that work well? Here's the thing, no one knows for sure. But one theory is that consciousness might be non-local, meaning it's not limited by space or time. Think about that for a second. What if your mind isn't bound to your brain? What if it's part of a larger field, like a drop of water in an ocean? This isn't just speculation, by the way. It ties into some of the strangest and most fascinating aspects of quantum physics, where particles seem to be connected across vast distances in ways that defy logic. Scientists call this quantum entanglement, and some believe it might be a clue to how our minds interact with the universe. But let's take this even further. Dr. Nelson and his team didn't stop at individual experiments. They wanted to see what would happen on a larger scale, like during big events that capture the attention of thousands or even millions of people. Think about a moment when everyone's emotions are synchronized, like during a global tragedy or a massive celebration. Could these shared experiences create ripples in the collective consciousness that are strong enough to affect the physical world? To test this, they set up random event generators all over the globe and monitored their output during major events. And guess what? During these moments like 9/11, the death of Princess Diana, or even New Year's Eve, the data showed clear deviations from randomness. It's as if the collective focus and emotion of millions of people were somehow influencing the machines. Let that sink in for a minute. If this is true, it means our minds are more connected than we've ever realized. But here's the big question: if our thoughts and emotions can affect the world around us, even in small ways, what does that mean for how we live our lives? Are we responsible for more than just ourselves? Could our collective mindset actually shape the reality we all experience? I want you to think about this as we move into the next part, where we'll dive into the implications of a collective mind and what it could mean for human evolution, society, and even the future of science. Trust me, this is where things get even crazier. Welcome back. If your mind isn't already blown, buckle up, because now we're getting into the truly mind-boggling stuff. In part 1, we talked about how individual consciousness might extend beyond the brain, and how collective emotions and intentions can influence the physical world. But what does this mean for humanity as a whole? Could our shared consciousness actually shape reality in ways we've never imagined? Let's start with the idea of a collective mind. This isn't some sci-fi concept, it's a real hypothesis supported by experiments like the ones we mentioned earlier. Think about what happens when a group of people comes together with a shared intention. Whether it's a peaceful protest, a religious ceremony, or even a concert, there's a kind of energy in the air, right? We've all felt it. And it turns out, this isn't just a metaphor. Dr. Nelson's research suggests that this shared focus can create measurable effects in the physical world. But here's where things get even more interesting. If a collective mind exists, it means we're all connected in ways that go far beyond what we can see or measure directly. And if that's true, it raises some profound questions about how we interact with each other and the planet. For example, what happens when millions of people are consumed by fear, anger, or hatred? Could these negative emotions ripple through the collective consciousness and impact the world in ways we don't fully understand? On the flip side, what happens when we come together in love, compassion, or hope? Could these positive emotions create a kind of resonance that helps heal the world? These aren't just abstract questions, they have real, practical implications. If our collective mindset can influence reality, even in small ways, it means we have a responsibility to be mindful of our thoughts and emotions, not just for our own sake, but for the sake of everyone around us. And this isn't just about big global events. It starts with you. Every thought you have, every intention you set, contributes to the larger field of consciousness that we're all a part of. So the next time you're feeling overwhelmed by negativity, ask yourself, what am I putting out into the world right now? And is this what I want to contribute to the collective mind? All right, here we are, the final part of our journey into non-local consciousness and the collective mind. Now that we've explored the evidence and the practical implications, let's look ahead. What does all of this mean for the future of science, society, and even humanity itself? First, let's talk about the science. Dr. Nelson and his colleagues have shown us that consciousness isn't just a byproduct of the brain, it's something much bigger, something that might be fundamental to the fabric of reality itself. This challenges the traditional materialist view that has dominated science for centuries. But here's the thing, science is evolving. More and more researchers are starting to explore these ideas, and we're on the cusp of a paradigm shift that could revolutionize how we understand the universe. Imagine a future where we can measure and study the collective mind with the same precision that we study physical phenomena. What if we could harness the power of collective consciousness to solve some of the world's biggest problems, from climate change to social inequality? It might sound like science fiction, but the groundwork is already being laid. First, let's think about where we are right now as a society. We live in a world that often feels fragmented: political divisions, environmental crises, technological overload. It's easy to feel isolated and disconnected. But if the idea of a collective consciousness is accurate, then this fragmentation isn't the full story. Beneath all the noise, there's a deeper connection tying us all together. And here's the crucial question: how do we tap into that connection in a way that moves us forward rather than holding us back? One of the most exciting aspects of Dr. Nelson's work is that it suggests we already have the tools to create this shift. The evidence from the Global Consciousness Project shows that when people come together with shared emotions or intentions, we create measurable impacts in the physical world. This isn't just theoretical, it's been observed over and over again. But here's the catch: most of the time, these moments of collective focus happen by accident, like during a global tragedy or a high-profile event. What if we could do this intentionally? What if we could align our collective consciousness to solve problems, heal divisions, and create a better future? But this isn't just about technology or research, it's about us. If we're truly connected on a deeper level, it means the choices we make as individuals ripple out into the world in ways we can't always see. So the next time you feel powerless to make a difference, remember this: your thoughts, your actions, and your intentions matter more than you might ever realize. And here's the final question I want to leave you with. If we're all part of a collective consciousness, what kind of world do we want to create together? The answer to that question starts with you, so let's make it count. Thanks for watching. Let's keep the conversation going in the comments. And don't forget to share this video. You never know who might need to hear this today. Thank you for sticking with me through this journey into non-local consciousness and the collective mind. We've barely scratched the surface of what this concept could mean for us as individuals and as a species. Let's take the final leg of this discussion even deeper, considering the potential future of human consciousness and how this knowledge could reshape our reality. Think about it this way: our minds are like individual instruments in an orchestra. When we're all playing different tunes, the result is noise. But when we're in harmony, something truly magical happens. The question is, how do we get in tune with each other? How do we move from chaos to coherence? One possibility is through technology. Imagine tools or platforms designed not to distract us, but to synchronize us, apps that help us meditate together, global events that encourage shared intention setting, or even scientific experiments where millions of people participate in real time to see how our collective focus can create measurable change. These aren't just fantasies. Projects like this are already being explored. And as our understanding of consciousness grows, the possibilities will only expand. But technology is only part of the equation. The real change has to start with us, on an individual level. If consciousness is truly non-local, then every thought we have, every emotion we feel, is contributing to the larger field. It's like we're all drops of water in the same ocean, and every ripple we make affects the whole. So the question becomes, what kind of ripples are you creating? Are you adding to the noise, or are you helping to create harmony? The concept of non-local consciousness and the collective mind isn't just an abstract idea, it's a roadmap for how we can move forward. It shows us that we're not alone, that we're all connected, and that our thoughts, emotions, and actions matter more than we realize. The next time you feel small or powerless, remember this: you are part of something much bigger than yourself. Your mind is not confined to your skull. Your consciousness is not limited by time or space. And your life has the potential to create ripples that extend far beyond what you can see. So the question is, what kind of ripples are you going to create? The answer is up to you. Let's make it count. If you made it this far, thank you. You're part of a conversation that has the potential to change the world. Let's keep it going. Share this video, comment with your thoughts, and let's see what kind of collective consciousness we can build together. You have no idea how powerful you really are. Let's use that power for something extraordinary.